Hey, what is going on, everybody? James here with Heavyweight Politics, and we have been saying since the start of these lockdowns that the cure cannot be worse than the disease, right? That we have to make sure we balance out, the negative impacts that might come from a lockdown with the negative impacts that might come from, of course, something like COVID, which there are negative impacts, of course, to COVID, right? And obviously, it's a real thing, major problem. We do have to watch out for it. But these lockdowns have caused some unintended consequences going forward. Now, I'm not just talking about the economic consequences. I'm talking more so about what's happening with our children, right? What's happening with our children right now? Because we have taken away from them one of the biggest things that really helps them develop as young adults, and that is, of course, communication with others, right? We've taken away their ability to actually associate with other people. We've taken away from young children the ability to actually facial recognition, because they're now just seeing masks everywhere. But we're also now seeing in this ABC News story a times 2 increase in diabetes rates among young children. And this shouldn't come as a shock, right? This really should not come as any shock to anyone. If you lock people down and tell them don't leave, they're not going to do much, right? What are kids going to do? They're going to sit inside and play video games all day. I know that's what I did, at least, right? I would sit inside all day long and either play Halo or, Star Fox, right? That was about it. I can't imagine how many hours I would have spent there if my parents didn't tell me, no, get out of the house and go into the woods and, I don't know, nearly die from snakes out there, right? I mean, we went on tons of adventures outside all the time. We didn't just sit inside and play video games all day, but now that's what people are doing non-stop. And I got nothing against video games, right? I stream video games, right? I love video games, but kids are sitting inside all day long now, and it's causing major problems when it comes to their health. And so right here, we got this story from ABC News, that right here, new study found type 2 diabetes appears to have doubled in children amid the COVID-19 pandemic, right? Found this under a ripple effect by the pandemic. No, this isn't by the pandemic. All right, this is not a ripple effect by the pandemic. This is a ripple effect from the lockdowns. All right? Not the pandemic. This isn't the pandemic's fault. This is the lockdown's fault. These things should be separated, all right? COVID did not cause kids to get fat and unhealthy. They were already on that way before COVID, and when we locked down, it just skyrocketed, right? Caused by being less active, possibly eating more, and fewer well visits at a children's pediatrician. These two studies are presented at American Diabetes Association conference. A significant increase in the risk of type 2 diabetes, which we know is a problem because it's a risk factor for future heart disease. I'm just going to throw this out here. Heart disease kills far, far, far more people than anything else in America. Over 600,000 people die a year from heart disease. Over 600,000 people. Yet we aren't locking down McDonald's, right? We aren't locking down Wendy's. We aren't locking down, all these fast food places that feed us crap all day long. We're not locking down Taco Bell for putting, fake meat in their tacos, right? We're not locking down Subway for advertising tuna and then giving us stuff that isn't tuna. Not sure if you heard that study, but we're not locking down fast food restaurants. And we're also not, of course, pushing people to be more active either, right? We're not doing anything to fight heart disease. We really aren't. We've ignored the heart disease problem in America. We have 100% ignored it. If anything, we've actually increased it. We've actually now gone, it's okay to be fat. It's okay to be unhealthy. Feel, whatever size, all sizes are just as valuable as others. No, they're not. No, they're not. All right? All sizes are not valuable. All right? If you are so big you cannot move, you are not valuable to society. You need to do something to fix this, right? You're not valuable to society, nor are you valuable to yourself. You've treated yourself like crap. Now, I'll be perfectly honest. I need to lose a few pounds myself, right? I'm 230 pounds right now, right? I'm over 230. Admittedly, I'm 6'5", so I carry it a little better. I'm really tall, so it kind of really spreads out, so I don't really look that big, but I probably should be more around the 190 to 210 range, right? Especially I have a half marathon coming up. I could really I need to lose a little bit more weight so I can be a bit quicker on my feet, but I need to lose a little weight. We all need to lose a little weight, right? We're all having these problems, but no one's talking about heart disease. No one's talking about obesity. No one's really talking about these issues on a mass scale the same way we're talking about stuff like COVID, even though it kills so many more people, right? I don't think I'll get in any trouble for saying that because just the facts are there, right? Again, over 600,000 people die every year from heart disease, and that's just in America. That's just in America. Now, admittedly, it is more in America because we are fat and we are lazy and we just don't care anymore. But this is a rising problem. But now we're seeing it again in our kids. And again, they're saying it's a ripple effect from the pandemic. It's not from the pandemic, it's from the lockdown. It's not from the pandemic, it's from the lockdown. The lockdowns of what's really caused this. So as you go on, she said it's imperative that parents understood what puts children at risk, such as being overweight, inactivity, family history of diseases. Certain race and ethnicities are also at a higher risk, as well as babies born with lower birth rates or mothers who have diabetes during pregnancy. As for warning signs, of course, just going through the warning signs here. Awareness is so key, but this is reversible. Get children screened, and if you get diagnosed, understand that it's really a glass half full situation, because with aggressive management, lifestyle changes, and possibility of medical or medication if necessary, it can be reversed, right? But if anything, what this really is going to be showing is that there are tons of unintended consequences here to what the lockdowns have caused, right? And if anything, the people who've been most harmed by these lockdowns are not people like me, right? It's not people like me who had a nice, white collar job where I can still work from home. Not anyone like my wife who's same deal, nice white collar job where we can work from home. It's not even really any adults in general, right? I mean, the fact is that we can work around stuff. We can take responsibility in our own lives and make choices and actually, really figure out our way around all these lockdowns. The real people who are being harmed most by the lockdowns more than anyone else is the children, right? The children have been harmed more than anyone else in this. Again, they haven't had proper facial recognition, anymore in schools because they're always wearing masks, which we have proven that facial recognition is hugely important. Again, I'm talking like Trump here, hugely, bigly. It's massively important to development of a child. All right, they gotta have that facial recognition. We're not allowing them to play, be that physically active anymore because we could spread it faster that way. Yet at the same time, we know for a fact that kids who are physically active also learn better when it comes to being in school, right? Or they have an easier time learning and comprehending things when they're active, right? That's why some schools have things where they'll do lessons while sitting at have a little bike pedal at their desk, right? We've done these studies. We know that when people are active, we know that when people are healthy, both physically, they'll be healthy, that will help them be more healthy mentally, right? We are creatures on three separate planes of existence. We are a physical creature, which means we have to take care of our physical body. We're intellectual, which means we have to take care of our mental faculties, as well as we are spiritual, which means we have to make sure that we are one with ourselves in the grand scheme of things, whether that be of course religion or whether it be something else. But we have to make sure that all three of these things are in check. And if we're missing in one, we're going to be hurting in the other two. And what we've now done to all these children, we've taken away one especially. We've taken away that physical component to life. We've just strapped them to a chair inside their room. Most of these kids, especially when you look at cities, aren't even leaving their house almost ever. It's sad. It's so depressing to see. I just had a son. All right, my son is, about 2 months old now. I can't imagine living in a city where I can't go on a walk with him, right? I put him in the stroller and we go for a mile or 3, just kind of walking in the morning. That I can't imagine people not being able to do that sort of stuff. Guess what? If you live in cities, which a lot of these people live in, you can't. Which means from a very, very, very early age, most of these people are just spending their entire lives basically in these small little cubicles, right? And I don't want this to be a rant entirely on cities, but this is a major impact of it too, because when you lock down, let's face it, where the lockdowns have been the worst. The lockdowns have been the worst in the cities more than anywhere else. They shut down parks, they shut down gyms, for God's sake, right? Anything that you could do to be more active, you're no longer able to do in a lot of these areas, especially a lot of these cities and blue areas, right? They've shut down so much. I remember these outside, gym parks, I guess, the calisthenic parks, they were shut down during the lockdown in places like California. So people who wanted to be healthy, people who wanted to stay active couldn't. Kids who normally would be playing sports, right? That's a big thing of what keeps kids healthy is sports, because let's face it, kids don't want to just go to the gym. Like a kid's not going to go, yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-mile run today. No, they want to go instead play baseball, and they'll still run the same distance, if not more, but in a more fun way. Right? Kids are not going to exercise the same way as adults. They need stuff like games. They need to be able to move around. They need to be able to interact with other people. This is how they learn. This is how they develop. And now with them actually apparently having doubled in stuff like diabetes, they're going to have massive problems going into the future. All right, if you think millennials are screwed up by the way, we were raised with this whole everyone's a winner mentality, what's going to happen to these kids when they're raised in a society that tells them stay home, don't do anything, eat like crap, and don't worry about being active? Also, being fat is beautiful. All right, it's not beautiful. It's terrible. We are the most obese country, or one of the most obese countries in the world. I think that we've been overtaken now, thank goodness. But we're still one of the most obese countries in the world. Over 600,000 deaths because of heart disease. We have a very, very high rate of diabetes in this country. And we have people eating like total crap. We have people who are eating stuff like McDonald's, then complaining about, oh, well, it's so hard to lose weight. Shut up. Just shut up. It isn't. Right? I was just at 260 just about 2 months ago. I'm dropped down to 230. Why? Because I said, hey, I'm going to do a half marathon. I started running more. Guess what? Black coffee. All right, no creamer, just black coffee. Guess what else? Instead of soda, I have just fizzy water, right? I got a Soda Stream, right? No more soda. I haven't had soda in about 2 months. Was it difficult? Yeah, you could say sort of. Yeah, sure, being disciplined is somewhat difficult to a certain level. I'm not very disciplined, I would say, but it's somewhat. But it's not crazy hard. This isn't complicated stuff. Like I always say, I chose to be 260 because I've never accidentally eaten anything, right? I chose to eat what I ate. And it's one thing if adults do this sort of stuff. But again, this major impact is about the children, right? Again, these children are having massive health problems because of these lockdowns. And we got to make sure we can get them out of it. We got to make sure that we get them active. We got to make sure they get back outside. We got to make sure they go back to either, I grew up on the coast. They got to get back to the beaches. They got to get back out to the mountains. They got to get back out to just being outdoors in nature, playing with their friends, running around like a bunch of idiots, right? That's what we need kids to do. It's healthy. It's good. And when they're healthy physically, they're going to be more healthy mentally. And when they're healthy physically and mentally, they'll also be more healthy spiritually. That's how we work as humans. And we need to make sure we encourage this to our kids. We got to make sure that we encourage them to be active, encourage them to be healthy. And guess what? When you lock them down in their houses for a whole year, the 15 days, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. They're going to be depressed. They're going to eat like crap, and they're not going to move around. So hopefully with the lockdowns being raised, hopefully, these kids can, kind of turn that back, hopefully get more active and maybe help kind of fix this issue a little bit. But to be honest, now with the Delta wave, I won't be surprised if some of these blue states have more lockdowns. Thank goodness I live in a bit more of a middle of nowhere area, and I can just do wherever the heck I want for the most part, though I need to get further out, to be perfectly honest. Either way, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll be seeing you again real soon.